All right, man. Talk. You know what it is. All right, man. How y'all doing, man? Hope everybody's good. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody. I'm back, baby. Had some things I had to take care of. Flights got delayed. I had to move around some more. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm back. So here we go. Drake's canceling more shows, and I said this in one of my other videos. I think Drake's fatigued, man. I think Drake just wanna. I actually think Drake wants to compete with Kendrick, but I think he's probably feeling like he just over it. I'll be honest with y'all. This is just my opinion. I think Drake don't want to do music no more. I think Drake wants to chill, but I think he kind of like feels like if he gives up and if he steps out of it, it's gonna look like Kendrick Lamar kicked him out of music. I honestly think that Drake doesn't want to do music anymore. I think he wants to take a break or he wants to give up. I think he's only doing this because if you listen to his last few songs are basically what he's been saying for a long time. Well, at least for the fighting Irish, you know what I'm saying? Since then, he's been saying this. I think he's kind of fed up. I think he's tired. I think he is fatigued. I think he really don't want to do it no more. I think he just here because that's why he did the whole Whitney Houston thing. Now I think about it, I will always love you. Like I think he's kind of preparing his fans to let them know that he's about to retire. I honestly think Drake is about to retire. A lot of y'all might disagree. People say I really believe Drake is about to retire. I think he's gonna say, you know what, this is it for me. Last Iceman album is gonna be my last joint, and that's gonna be that. I really believe he's gonna retire. So before we get into that, I gotta get a legendary spill. If you hear me sniffling, I don't have a cold, but for some reason I was on that airplane and it was cold and I had no jacket, which I always bring a jacket, but this time I don't know, I forgot to bring it. And yeah, so before I get into that, I got to get a legendary spill. This is Torture Talk. If you like the content, please consider subscribing if you're new here. Let me work for your subscription today. All the beautiful, single, sexy ladies, put one in the chat. All the fellas, y'all know the final one's at. Just on harassing, I don't sell the merch, but I do have content absolutely free. If you want to leave a donation, link is right here on the screen, Cash App. No more PayPal. They call me a hidden gen. 1,300 subscribers, over 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19,000. 19,000 soon. And yes, I am the king of the north. Let me know what kingdom you are from. Thank y'all for being here with me every day. I appreciate y'all. Channel's going great. I'm getting more subscribers. People shouting me out more. I'm starting to get recognized now. It's so crazy when I walk through the airport how many people recognize who I am without the crown on. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy how one person in another country recognized me. Say, you king of the north. I said, I like. You know what I'm saying? So here I am, baby. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. So let's get it, man. Let's go. So it's one thing I want to say before I, go any further. I don't beef with nobody. I don't have no issues with nobody. You know what I'm saying? I give my opinion on whatever. All the YouTubers, that's why I say I stay away from people. Because when you start to fraternize with people, they point out things in you that you may disagree with them on, and you point out things with them that they may disagree. So I don't ever want to come across like I'm beefing with anybody. I don't. I kind of work solo. I'm just putting that out there. You know what I'm saying? If I have an interview with somebody, cool. But I don't really want to come off like I'm actually disrespecting anybody or like anything like that. I don't beef with none of y'all. I don't have time. I have a lot going on, and I just don't. So I just wanted to put that out there to let everybody know I don't have no beef with nobody. I don't have no issues with nobody. None of that. I'm not gonna be going back and forth with people. If I have an issue with you, I will try to get you directly and talk to you directly. I'm not gonna be on here talking about you, except for the hip hop historians. That's it. I have a problem with y'all. All right, so let's get it, man. Let's go.
Now, when it comes to Drake and Kendrick Lamar, Well, if you are ready to see how the Drake-A-Wish Foundation is getting ready to shut down while at the same time, Kendrick Lamar is just straight up trolling Drake more than ever after Drake has literally tried to do every single thing to stop him. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and now really, the Drake fans are gonna be mad about this because you can get a biggie bag for the same price as a Drake ticket now, and that's why he's going down.
I'm not laughing at the ticket price because hey, Drake sell more tickets than me. I'm just laughing because he said a biggie bag. Yo, who eats that stuff? Don't get me wrong. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to y'all. There's times where you hungry. You gotta have to. Wendy's is 24 hours where I live at least. And it was one time I had to go there and grab something. You know what I'm saying? It was like 4:30 in the morning. I'm like, man, I'm about to just go back to sleep. I was so hungry. I don't know why. This cheeseburger was calling me. I'm like, okay, man. I went there and I said, I want a double cheeseburger. What is it? What they call them, Johns? Dave's Double. I got a Dave's Double with just lettuce and tomato with cheese. That was it. No mayo, no ketchup. I like mayonnaise and ketchup, but I'm trying not to eat that stuff anymore. I'm trying to just eat. If I eat a burger, it would just be plain. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know why I'm telling y'all all that. It has nothing to do with Drake canceling shows. I just thought it was funny.
As bad as we are about to see, make sure to leave that like so everybody can choose between getting a Whopper or a Drake ticket. And now with that said, well, now after Drake tried to diss Kendrick Lamar and take his crown off by calling him Pinocchio and by trying to win music back with his brand new Central C collab, which won. Well, now for lame old Lawbury, despite trying to do every single thing to call out, intimidate, or just shift the rap world against Kendrick Lamar. Really, even with Drake trying to make all of these moves and even at his shows trying to go viral by encouraging fans to diss Kendrick Lamar and chant F Kendrick over and over again and so much other weird.
Yeah, I don't understand why Drake did that. I really don't. I have no idea why Drake would encourage his fans to say that. He should have did the opposite. He just said, nah, we ain't gonna do that. Nah, you know what I mean? He did his thing. Shout out to that man. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. If he would have did that, he would have got so much more respect. Because see, Drake don't really care for respect. Drake wants to be infamous now. He already famous. He wants to be infamous. And it's working, but you gotta understand. The fall of Drake is crazy, man. This is crazy.
Stuff? Well, again, even with the virality of seeing all these people scream at another rapper's show, well, that has not done a thing, and Drake's entire tour is starting to look pretty bad, and it's starting to seem like more shows may get canceled very soon, just like we saw with what has went down in Manchester so far, because again, and this is real, there are Biggie Bags, Big Macs, and Whoppers that are more valuable than seeing Drake live right now, but when it comes to this tour and standoff that Drake is trying to have with Kendrick Lamar, well, now while the entirety of Drake's career and ethos is falling apart, but he's still dissing Kendrick Lamar everywhere he goes. Well, now as Kendrick Lamar is finishing up the Grand National Tour on this EU run, and in terms of having joint shows with SZA, well, now there are only 2 more shows until Kendrick will close out the tour by himself for the final runs. Well, now with everything Kendrick and SZA have done since April, which has just included them making history.
I didn't know that. I didn't know Kendrick Lamar is going to close out the tour by himself for the final run. I didn't know that. That's interesting. I wonder why that is.
Together and putting on an insane display for all of hip-hop and music around the world like you just rarely ever see, because again, there's only ever been 2 other rappers to do something quite like this. Well, with them just rising more and more and the competition crumbling at the same time, everything's just getting better for these 2, and it's so clear that they are having the most fun they ever have had on stage right now, because seriously, with Kendrick Lamar specifically, when he's at these shows now, he's not just aura farming or making some of the most insane crowd moments that we have seen from a rap tour in years.
Aura farming. I like that term. Aura farming. Aura farming. That's a great term. That's a great term. That'd be a nice name for an album too. Oral Forming. Don't steal my idea, please. Please don't steal my idea. Don't try to make a mixtape called Oral Forming on. Say, oh yeah. Don't do it, please.
In years. But now beyond the set list and beats that Kendrick has masterfully performed night in and night out, he's really starting to break character in a way, and really more than we have ever seen in almost any series of shows or just Kendrick Lamar moments, at least since the beginning of his career. As now after we already started to see Kendrick just straight break out in laughter when he was playing Not Like Us and stuff like that, pretty much just because of how humiliating the song has gotten for Drake and how funny it really has become more and more with each time he plays it, things have been getting even funnier for Kendrick and SZA as they were playing in Portugal. Well, during this show, and unlike the Drake stans who only chant F Kendrick and how they don't like him while they're watching him, the Kendrick and SZA fans at this show actually liked the artists who they were seeing and were pretty much chanting for them like they were watching Ronaldo or something. And with this, once Kendrick Lamar realized what was going on, we did see one of the most funny and wholesome moments from Kendrick, which is just showing that the guy really is happy and maybe having the most rewarding experience he has ever had on the road, as again, him taking...
That's what I'm saying. I said this in the last video. I think Kendrick Lamar is he's on such a high right now. Such a high right now. Such a high. I don't think too many people is going to reach that. And he's right about the whole Drake encouraging his people to actually say some stuff, which is crazy. I don't know why he would do that.
The West Coast and his roots so far to these completely different parts of the world, and just seeing the global audience respond to it the way they have, and he's never had to do something like a fake British accent or try to pander to all these different crowds in the most pathetic way for it. Well, overall, this clearly must be an amazing feeling, and now when you see Kendrick and SZA hearing these chants over and over again, to just see these two break out in dancing and Kendrick Lamar really moving around in a way like we almost never see, this is just awesome, and it's honestly so great to see Kendrick having this much fun with all of the fans here and even just sharing moments like this which are so genuine. And honestly, in this era where everything in rap has become so weird and there are these spite shows going on right in the same areas where Drake is pretty much following them and just trying to diss him with his audiences, well really what's happening here is just putting on display the global impact that hip-hop is really having for better with Kendrick in the lead. And now after Kendrick and SZA found out what the fans were chanting, which was saying "this is yours," it made it all the better and really just showed where this has all been going and how much winning they have been doing. But now speaking of having fans in these places show you love and just putting together a show that would be amazing, well now when it comes to the guy who wishes he was on this tour and alongside the rapper that he has turned into a stan of at this point because the obsession has gotten so weird, well
I'll tell you one thing though. Kendrick and Drake had such a visceral, I'm gonna say hate, but let's just say they don't like each other. A visceral dislike. I don't want to use the word hate, but a visceral dislike for each other. Man, I'm telling you, if they was to squash this, and let's just say this, man, if the music industry, if the rap game wants to be, let's say, if the rap game wants the highest selling album of all time, if Kendrick and Drake was to squash their beef and come together and do an actual hip hop album together, yeah, that probably would be the biggest selling album of all time. But see, I'm gonna tell y'all, things like that could never happen. It would never happen because some people they're not about the money. They don't care about the money. And I honestly think that both of them. I don't think Drake really cares about the money like that either. He has enough of it, and I think Kendrick Lamar don't really care either. I think, and I know it's weird to say that Drake doesn't care about money, but I don't think Drake really cares about money like that. I think he has money, but I don't think he really cares for it. Like, I don't think that's his main focus. Drake's main focus is he wants people to love him. That's his thing. That's his thing. His thing is he wants people to say, "You're a good guy, man. You're a nice guy. We love you, man. You're a good guy." That's what he's looking for. Kendrick Lamar, I think Kendrick Lamar is just who he is. I don't think he's really looking for anything. I think Kendrick just puts himself out there. If you like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. That's what it is with him. So
For Drake now, while the first Manchester show was cancelled and things have been looking bad with that because it seemed like something very strange was happening there, what it's really starting to seem like now as the fan outrage has created a full-on conversation about the extent of where this Drake tour is going all surrounds the idea of, after seeing Kendrick Lamar just complete a run of shows without ever canceling a single performance and selling out every single crowd in the process, and even having just so much fun with it all that after being on the road for months, Kendrick is still sharing genuine moments with his fans like we are seeing with him just dance around here? Well, to be honest, when you just compare these two, lame old Lawbury maybe should have moved this show to a boardroom or something where they could have just sorted through paperwork together or yell about bots, because I really don't think arenas are his thing at this point, because now with these Drake shows, there is a big problem and it's getting really bad, because now despite all of the people that are still around Drake and that are making sure that he is the most annoying person in hip-hop, well, seemingly with the crowds that Drake needs, they are not going to these shows in the capacity that he wants. And now I'm not going to say that there's no interest in a Drake show as a whole, because again, people are coming out to these things. But now what we are seeing and what the numbers are clearly indicating to us is that the demand to see Drake live has not been this low since before he was doing arenas in the late 2000s. And
I think the reason why the demand for Drake is so low is because Kendrick is on tour and they're in the same area. And you're looking at one guy who's doing stadiums and another guy who's doing arenas. And the other guy is told that he's bigger than the other guy. So it looks weird. And a lot of people, they just, I look at it like this. People are looking at it from this point of view. They're looking at Drake like, well, you know, we like you, bro, but we like this guy now. Or they like this guy better now. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand. And he's just coming off the biggest beef of his career. I think he should have, I honestly think Drake should have took at least 2 to 3 years off. Then came back with a solid song. I think he should have just disappeared. Let Kendrick get his shit off, you know what I'm saying? And then came back later. And on some different. And people could say, oh, after he lost the battle to Kendrick, Drake finally drops a new single, blah, 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 and that's it. And it just be something totally different from what he normally does. I think that would have been the best outcome for him. But right now, he's still in the spotlight, or at least trying to be. And the more he's in the spotlight, the more dimmer the spotlight is becoming, the more it's going to be bad for him. Because, see, when he try to go away and he comes back, people are not going to care. He should have did it already. He should have did that.
I'm serious about that, and there is factual evidence to back this up now. And now seemingly what's causing this entire line of chaos, which is all saying that Drake's entire tour is going to get canceled, were some posts that were going viral which were showing that Drake's tickets were going for as low as $8 and at the higher end $23, which if this was the case, and then again this would put the Drake show in the same range as a Big Mac meal or something like that, he would be done. There would be no question around it. And to be honest, while the actual reality of what's going on is not that bad, after doing some research into what the value for these Drake shows is actually looking like, and then comparing it to other shows, including artists that Drake used to try to compete with in the same price range, and then also other rappers, and then of course Kendrick Lamar, well, what we are seeing now is that the Drake tickets are really about as coveted as seeing the worst team in sports or something like that, as really for a lot of seats in these arenas. The value is showing that people just don't want these tickets because they have prices that are almost lower than the tour that Ken Carson just had to cancel. As seriously, and let's just get into the reality of the facts. Now, while some of the closer tickets are still going for decent prices here, and again, this does make sense because Drake still does clearly have a loyal fan base that is going to follow him till he destroys literally every single thing that he does. When it comes to the seats that usually bring in casual fans and regular people, this is where things are struggling, and seriously now, for some of these tickets, they are up for $20 and $30 on the lower end, and really some of them are only going up to about $60 at the most. And with this, all I gotta say, especially when you know how the Drake tours used to work in terms of how high he used to make the ticket prices, yikes, this is very bad and this is a downgrade. And I just want to say, and what you will see here very clearly.
Yeah, this is what happens, man. When you outweigh your welcome. How do they say that? When you wear out your welcome. I think that Drake wore out his welcome. He should have left the house and then came back to visit, later on. But you still sitting up in there, knowing you just got your legs cooked like crown fried, and you still still out here talking crazy, still letting your fans say whatever. They're gonna get your arms cooked, your wings cooked like crown fries soon. It's coming.
Is now that while some of these tickets that are $20 and $30 do say limited view, when it comes to other artists who are touring acts who have these limited view seats, well listen, Zach Bryan just came to MetLife Stadium recently and his limited view tickets were selling for about $300. And I went to see The Weeknd last minute at MetLife Stadium and got some limited view tickets, and again, these are the same type of seats. And even in these bigger venues, because again, this is a stadium and not an arena, I was still paying $80 per ticket. And so with this, and then again, when you compare the old prices of the Drake It's a Blur tour, which everything was $200, $300, and $400, and to be honest, back then, Drake had ruined hip-hop so much and he was in such a place where he was really positioning himself as a pop act, and his ticket prices were more aligned with people like Sabrina Carpenter. And then again, if we go to her limited view tickets, they are also about $300 and $400. Well, now that we are seeing that you can...
Bro, that's crazy, bro. I went to see The Weeknd in Philadelphia, and my tickets were $90. I had a good seat, but I actually walked down to the floor. I got on the floor. I was up on like the third row, and I didn't see nobody around. I hopped over to John. Then I went downstairs. They didn't say nothing to me either. Nobody said nothing. I just went right on the floor. So I was on the floor. But yeah, man. $300? Yeah. That's crazy.
Into a building and listen to Drake perform for as low as $20. Well, listen, beyond all of that, when you see that Kendrick Lamar is playing for over double the crowd size and yet his tickets are also double the price, you are just seeing that there is a completely different level of demand for these two artists. And really with Kendrick Lamar, what we are finding out is now that as his show gets closer and closer, the more people want to go, and this is why the prices are going up. And really for Drake, it's just the pure opposite, and people are not running to get last minute tickets or anything like that. And why this is so important is because overall, while Drake is still trying to spread messages and narratives that he can still compete with Kendrick Lamar, and he is still a top guy in both rap and music. Again, aside from all the narratives about bots and numbers and everything else that this delusional corner of rap just tries to push more and more, really when it comes to the most important facet of music as a whole, which is getting people to come out to shows and seeing whose impact is the biggest in terms of what fans are really there to support you, Drake is just not on the level of Kendrick Lamar. And to be honest, you almost wonder what's causing this disconnect between Drake and his annoying fans who act like he is back up and he is on top, and the people who are not coming to these shows. And seriously, when we put this into perspective, I'm starting to think we are at a point where Drake's lies and bad performing is catching up to him so bad, and as a result, he is just no...
I definitely think that him foreshadowing that Pinocchio chasing him, people gonna look at it. They're gonna say it's Kendrick, but eventually people gonna start to realize that it's his old habits running after him. I think that's what it is. So.
Longer a premier touring act, and especially after Kendrick Lamar has been stopping in a lot of the same areas and putting on amazing displays of how live rap performances should really work, which I think overall has just really made people not want to see Drake more than ever. Overall, with all of this, Drake is really just getting a bad reputation as not just an artist anymore, but as a performer and a live act to see, and what is clear from these numbers is that less people want to see him than ever. And really now, as this is the direction that we are headed in the moment, and Drake's tickets are being closer to looking like a Groupon deal while just everybody still wants to see Kendrick Lamar, and the demand for a rap show on his end is at an all-time high, really this is looking bad for Drake. And if things stay like this, I would not be surprised if more of these shows end up getting canceled or have these weird delays and lies around them very soon. And so now...
I told y'all. I said he gonna cancel all these joints. Because he's not feeling it like that. I'm telling you. He gonna do maybe one or two more shows. He's going to cancel it. He's going to be like... Because I think his brain is erratic right now. He don't know what to do. He really don't. I definitely think that his brain is erratic right now. I don't think that Drake is really thinking about... thinking about how he can actually come back from this. I think he's thinking more on the lines of he want to quit. And it's not hitting the way he... You know, sometimes when you do stuff and you really sit back and you say to yourself... Damn, I can actually benefit from this. I think Drake feels like he can't benefit from anything no more. I think that it's gotten to the point now where I feel like he feels it's over. But he just won't hold on to it. take a break, man. I think he should take a break. Maybe take a break for a long time, or maybe just retire. Like you already gonna go down as one of the greatest artists of all time. So that's what I would do if I'm him. Keep on trying to compete with Kendrick. It's not your time no more, man. He took it from you, and I don't think he can actually stomach that. So, but that's what happens when you're in control for a long time. Somebody take it from you. But anyway, thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all on the next one, man. What you talk. Peace. Bye.